This is why it's just so fun having to do a podcast that's visual.
Do you need a timeout? Do you need to take some time for yourself? And
I think I need full retirement from this medium. I think I'd like to be cool and bring back just the audio portion.
Well,
do you like that I frame it as being cool?
I know. That makes
because that's how you trick people, you know? I'm cooler than you.
Oh, is that how you trick people?
Oh, you didn't know? That's not cool, man. That's how you do it.
That's always.
It doesn't trick a person. It hasn't tricked one. Not even my kids. They're like, oh, my mom's
That's
so
never
bad at
worked.
this.
What? Yeah. She thinks she's David Blaine over here.
Oh, gosh.
Anything happening?
Well, a few things.
Hi, I'm Brendan Fair.
And I'm Majandra Delfino. A decade or two ago,
Closer to 3, really.
a while back, we starred in the cult hit WB show Roswell.
And while we are in fact ex-costars, we are also actual exes in real life.
Boyfriend and girlfriend exes.
Unnecessary clarification, but welcome to the X-Files, where we analyze all things Roswell. Episodes, co-stars, guest stars, and all the goings-on in front of the camera and behind the scenes.
In our probe, we may or may not agree, we may or may not get along, but if our history is any indication, we will most certainly dig up old stuff from the past and throw down. With guests, old and new, weighing in on who was right and who was wrong.
Oh, if we remember it, we're going to talk about it.
And if we don't remember, it's all good, because I kept my teenage diary to cross-reference, corroborate, confirm.
Wait, what?
Correct. So be prepared to pick a side.
Your actual diary, like for real.
Having a change of heart?
More like a change of underwear.
Welcome
To the X-Files.
First of all, I'd like to bring to the table that I took pictures and sent you evidence.
Yeah, I did not get to read those. Sorry.
Yeah, you didn't get to read it, but you see what it is.
Your diary.
Right.
all
Meaning, whenever you go, I've never laid eyes on this thing.
Oh, you people are apparently they're mistaking that. Like, I don't even believe you have a diary.
Yeah, people.
Yeah, the
some
diary
people think
is
I'm making it
100%
up.
true,
and the entries are true.
real. The entries are.
No. Meaning that is what I wrote. I'm not writing that now.
No, they were written back in the day.
No,
are
they're
they
so
true?
embarrassing. No. No, by the way, that's not what I'm saying at all. That's definitely my, 17-year-old perception.
Yeah,
but that is my young perception of it.
No,
but
so I have laid eyes on the diary. I have not. And then you did send pages today of it. That is the first. I've never really seen anything inside the diary. I am aware it exists. It is 100% real. So when I say I've never laid eyes on this diary, I'm not questioning its validity or existence. I'm questioning your sanity.
he's also quite, yeah. I mean, should I just have the confidence to hand the whole thing over and let him read it? Sure, but there's some parts that just too
I don't think it's a diary. It belongs to you.
Yeah, like
and you're sharing the parts that you want to, which is it's healthy.
I will say this: I don't hold back. The only things that I hold back that are nice, just aren't for the rating of this podcast. That's all.
Yeah. Well, this is a special one for a number of reasons.
Oh boy.
Great guest.
Oh.
Very intrigued. That was very Lou. I watched. We did the Seattle Comic-Con, Emerald City Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the panel that we did. Did you watch it?
My goodness. No, I just saw a few pictures and I thought, maybe lay off the pies, Majandra.
Are you eating a lot of pies?
By the way, no. I just thought of that. I was like, I actually wish I did have some pies. Yeah. Lay off the Duncan Hines brownies every week. The Traitors is on.
I think he looks great.
Oh, that sounds just exactly like you mean that. Go ahead.
But
You
I
look
will
great.
say,
Everybody look great.
listening to this podcast for editing and all those things, I'm a much more eloquent speaker on something like the panel. I don't say a lot of like, you knows and like, you know, like I was even when I didn't know what I wanted to say, it felt I was like, oh, you're not an idiot. You can actually speak without, you know, whatever, like just all those ums and who's and hot, whatever.
Well,
Those things
you're
that
not-
make an orator not of anyone exciting to listen to. I do it a lot on this podcast. And I'm a little looser on this podcast than I am in those panels too.
Well, yeah, you're in front of a whole audience. And also, you're looking in my eyes on this podcast, and that'll derail you. My eyes are...
So watch that. So it was good. And that was good. It was, I liked it. And then I'm recovering from the hernia surgery. Well, it's going well. I have to wear an abdominal binder for 4 to 6 weeks at all times. Majandra, what is
Welcome to the club.
I know.
The waist cinching.
The waist cinching. Spanx. Abdominal binder by Spanx. And I'll tell you, I got to wear it 24/7, at least for the first 4 weeks, 4 weeks. Not wearing it right now. Took it off to have a shower. And I will tell you, that relief I get from taking this thing off, I could just imagine being a woman, just getting home from work and taking that bra off and letting those titties fly.
Can I just say...
has to be an incredible feeling you get to look forward to.
This
every
is
night.
a perfect thing to bring up because I had the audacity of a male listener thinking that the reason I comment on people's racks is because I am envious of a big rack. I would just like to say, Brendan, please back me up if you'd like.
I'm gonna.
I am in possession
Of
my own big rack.
Oh.
Turns out Maria was 25 years ago. And did I have my period yet? Unclear. Meaning I had not gone through puberty. I have big titties now. Thank you.
Big titties, people. They're big.
Also, by the way, I do not like taking... An underwire bra sucks. I just don't even wear those because...
Okay.
But I don't like taking my bra off because
your titties are too big?
It's just that milkshake brings all the boys. Because I'll tell you this. It's because I fear because they're bigger than I'd like, as you know. Although sometimes I'm like, should I go get some double-decker implants and just call it a day to lift those suckers? No, but I don't want any saggage. And I feel like I've done a good job kind of keeping them.
Well, there's that whole thing of like, if you don't wear a bra,
Your
they
muscle.
don't sag. Like, no, they get like bigger.
'Cause the
and your
muscle, yeah.
nipples stay higher because there's collagen involved and it gets to it. I don't
Never
know if
seen
it's
it.
a myth or what the heck is.
I'll tell you this, never seen it in real life. Like, I don't know one person where this is a thing.
Right.
And I am friends with a lot of hippies.
But like taking off my underwear doesn't have the same like you're not releasing the boys, right? Like they're not tight enough that it feels like, oh, finally, my sack is in the wind. That could feel good if there's a little wind, but just this abdominal binder of around and constrict, and then just releasing it. I don't know. It was just a thought that came to my head today of what a glorious, thing to look forward to for all you ladies out there. I don't know if it's the same thing.
I think it might be a little different too, because like that's constricting your breathing,
Yeah, it's around my guts, right?
Yeah, and like your diaphragm, like where you're supposed to, with proper breathing technique, breathe from, right? Yeah, you know what? Sorry, never mind. You don't know anything about that. But yeah, it is not. Listen, anything that is bound feels uncomfortable. I mean, but I do look at dicks and and balls all the time. That's it. There's nothing after that. No, I do look at especially balls and I go, oh man, that thing's just there the whole time.
Yeah, but you don't know, like you don't, it's a weird thing. It's just, you don't feel it really. Like you would think this thing's hanging between your legs.
And every time you sit, like you got to think, I'm assuming, like sit right.
I guess, have you ever seen that video where the guy sits on his nuts?
Oh.
It's quite, you can't hear anything. It's like, it looks like this old Latino dude. And he sits down and like he goes, whoa! And like he adjusts it, like it literally dude, I cry every time I see it. Well,
the sound you made
so brilliant because I've never sat on my nuts.
I think we all just learned something about your nuts right there. Microscopic.
I guess so.
They're just up in there. I mean, that is something that I assume would be a problem, but like, I guess not.
Maybe when I get older, they'll start like boobs sagging more. I don't know.
Not if you keep your bra on.
They just don't kind of like, you know, they can stick to, you know, where you got to like unstick it from your thigh a little bit. You give it a little like janky leg, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like in the summertime. But that's kind of the only time you really feel them, I think.
It's just also so vulnerable that they're out. I don't know. The whole thing kind of struck me the other day. I was like, wow, balls are really, they're really putting themselves out there, whether they want to or not.
All right. Well, that's a good introduction.
Yeah. Which, by the way, my notes on the episode, this very thing comes up, and as it relates to Michael, in what is just the tightest gene in the crotch area. But we'll get there later.
Really?
I was just like, "Where's his dick?" You know?
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. I did. There was the shirt was a little too tight. I was like, let's relax on this shirt. Yeah. One more size up doesn't hurt. You can just ask a different time, though. They'll provide it. But we're doing the toy house. January 19th, 2000, written by John Harmon Feldman and Jason Katims, directed by Michael Fields. Guest cast: Mary Ellen Trainor, Gil Colin is a firefighter, Zoe Nutter, David Nutter's daughter, young Isabel, Daniel Hansen, young Max. And I remember, let's see, Max uses his powers to put out a nasty kitchen fire and save his mother, who begins asking questions about her son. What's so wonderful about the toy house is the subtle emotional moments. The entire cast shines in this episode as they deal with mending broken or wounded relationships. Could you imagine if those were my words?
You're like, see, I am eloquent.
You see, I can speak good. I remember this episode. For some reason, I remember the title. I felt like I remembered the episode. I remembered it when I watched it back. But for some reason, the toy house as a title always stuck out to me. And damn, I thought this was a good episode.
It's interesting. And this is what's...
The 11th episode of the season 1.
I watched it knowing that our guest was watching it as well. And that made it tough for me. So I sort of watched it through the lens of just a little bitch. No, the eyes of someone who is not a big consumer of TV, wasn't in their youth, very discerning. I think, dare I say, like kind of not so cool in the 90s and early aughts.
Okay.
Big fan of like a gabardine pant with an 18-inch zipper. You know what I'm saying? And so I think when you don't experience that in real time and you look back now, excuse me, did you just hear my She's meowing.
She's meowing.
Even though I speak badly of the guest, you know, my body says something else. No, I think though that you look back and you just see it kind of all as like Smallville, this, that, like you start to see the connection of how all these shows can seemingly bleed into one vibe.
Yeah.
And it just kind of colored things a little bit.
Okay.
I still really liked it, but I think I would have liked it even better.
Well, what's interesting, and I got lots of notes about it, but I was thinking about it. You know, with Adam, we did...
Significant Others.
Significant Others. But not even so much that one. geez. The one where Isabel doesn't want to. The whole big thing about the episode was her needing to tell Jesse, like wanting to tell Jesse and getting married and what that was going to do. That was the big thing, which I said I thought fell flat. Like, is it really that big of a deal? I mean, it is in real life, but for the show, it didn't feel like the stakes were very high. And this one, obviously, it's earlier on for sure, and it's about Mary Ellen Trainor, Max's mom. What the heck is her name? Diane Evans. It's about Diane possibly figuring out. And so it's kind of the same thing, a human possibly figuring out their aliens. And this felt like the stakes were so much higher. It felt a little more dramatic. It felt that it had a dangerous element to it. And it surprised me because it's essentially the same story-ish, kind of the same problem of a human finding out. And this was just on a much, much higher level. It was our show. It felt like this was the show that we signed up for.
Right. Yes. And it's funny because I'm very rarely touched by anything. And I just find myself against my will. Tears like sprang to my eyes when Isabel finds out at the end that they're not going to tell the mom. The aloneness of that was so just a slap in the face. She did such a good job. And it was also just so heavy of a realization of just how much she in particular is alone, how much you want your mother to be the kind of mother you imagined, and the having to let go of what you saw that relationship like. Oh, it was so crushing.
And then, having to continue to lie to her. It's like you can't have a real relationship with someone you're obviously hiding something like who you are from.
Which brings me to our guest. I'm kidding. Okay, wait, hold on a second. I have to get a pineapple juice because...
Shouldn't he be drinking pineapple juice?
I have the dick. That's what we realized this whole time.
That's what we've all.
Should I say who our next guest is? Who our guest is?
Sure.
Our guest is someone I barely know as much as I try. I had to take to AI to see what he's been in, even though I've been married to him, I think, 14 years. He was in... Oh, really? He was in Fired Up. Giuseppe. He was in Fired Up, Bent, New Girl, About a Boy, and Power Book Ghost. My husband, David Walton. All right.
She leaves.
I leave. I'm like, you know what?
I'm not gonna do this one. With,
you know what? Fuck everybody. You two run off into the sunset.
You guys do it solo.
Here we go. Oh, great. I'm going to have clean audio for you two, Maria and Michael.
Clearly just watched for the first time.
I watched. That was my first full episode. I've caught clips of you watching, sweetheart. And I'm so glad I did. I even rewatched some scenes. I rewound just to catch little moments. And really blown away. I have a lot to say. I took a lot of notes.
I just wish that that you don't know which one is me or Brendan. That is just.
Well, I have to say it was really cool right away to see the recap, and I believe in like the third or fourth clip, you guys are just like tonguing each other, and that was a really nice way to start my evening.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I saw that as I was watching and was like, oh boy, like they picked this do you know what we're talking about, Brendan? It's like the one where we're in the racer room and it's like so mouthy. When we had to,
yes.
Yeah. There's got to be a journal entry about that. But I thought for a second, Majandra, that you were going to send me an episode that was just heavy, with like full bed scenes, so we...
Yeah. We already covered one of those. There was a lot of uncomfortable conversations that would have to happen with this kind of stuff at an age where you're so uncomfortable. One being, I was asked once to make the O bigger, but I also am saying, oh my God, in the scene.
Was that not vernacular for an orgasm, or do you mean?
But I didn't.
That's what I was like. Make the O bigger.
That's what he meant. That's what he meant. He meant because I'm supposed to. It's when the alien powers like give them orgasms, but she's faking it. Remember?
Yeah.
Not you, David. I hope you never see that.
It all.
But yeah. So he was saying make the orgasm bigger, and I thought he meant when I say oh my god. So I kept going like oh my god, just like it's just so
just a word like a bad line reading of like.
It's so embarrassing now.
How are you?
Exactly.
It's like, make the you bigger. It's like,
oh my God.
I've only had in my career, weirdly enough, I've only had one like genuine orgasm, not comedic, where you have to sell it. And it was extremely challenging and self-conscious. I was so self-conscious because as a dude.
Was it Stanley Tucci? That's what I was just going to say.
No, he didn't. We just had a post-coital with Stanley.
Got it.
Did I ever tell you that Stanley Tucci story in the trailer?
No.
He is so handsome.
Well, that's a perfect segue, Brendan. Thank you. But we were in the trailer, and I was, I think, early 30s, like supposed to be peak athletic form, and I didn't really get that most of my career. I lift weights now, but before I just hated it, and so I remember showing up. And we're in the trailer, and I guess he's got some tats. He had his shirt off, and he was just so yoked. And I was like, I'm in a shirtless scene with a 59-year-old man who is so much more fit than me that I ended up, if you watch Burlesque, this movie, and you see the scene, I'm wrapped in a blankie like I'm a little boy who's
he does like the hive, like the sheet up there.
Yeah.
He wears like a baggy shirt to bed.
No, it's even worse than that. I'm standing in the scene wrapped in a blanket.
He's cold.
Yeah, vanity. I didn't want to, but smart. His pecs are in all their glory.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and Brendan had to deal with that a lot as well. But when you have
between Jason and Nick, right? They're both like shredded.
I had that in my notes because I knew Nick. I met Nick, much later, and we were in the same gym, and he's so fit. And then I didn't even recognize him in that basketball scene because he's got the arms of like another 38-year-old.
I didn't even recognize the sport the way he was playing it.
I have that in my notes. I was like, what is this exactly?
I was like, he's a wrestler, not a basketball player.
But I want to say, and I just want you guys to accept this because it's genuine. You guys are the fresh air of that show. I mean, it's so like that heavy, long, poor Jason just having to act depressed the entire time. I felt so bad for him. But you guys come on screen and it's just like, it's so natural and alive and good. So you guys, you were definitely my favorite. Not to take away from everyone else, it was sort of your thing, but it was awesome. You guys were so good.
It's so funny too, because I feel like you're never allowed to do that on teen shows. Usually they like clip the wings of wanting to be natural and have your own cadence and just be still. You know how we were very still in a weird way, even though they're teens and everything's like big. And that was, I think, just a testament to all the old Jason Kadam's thing.
Yeah, I was looking for Kadam's sort of signature stuff the whole time, and I was like, I didn't find it until the very end. Counting Crows kicks in, and I was actually curious about your cast. Was everyone dying to do scenes in that canyon because of the long lens and beautiful light? Everyone looked very cinematic and movie starry, and and that's the only scene where it's really like, let's go for the beauty of everybody.
Well, we were a very well lit, very beautiful show. We would have, 10-hour breaks of just perfect lighting.
Well, I would just say that particular scenes, and where was that? Was that like way out of LA?
Yeah, it was. I think it was like in between, like off the 605 or 710, like not quite to Covina, at like what it was, like a gravel rock canyon. What do they call them again? Like a
quarry?
Yeah. It was like at a rock quarry, and I just thought this episode was really well directed. I looked up the director because I was like, Michael Fields is like, what has he done? He's done some good stuff, but just for a teen show, some of the camera moves, like when in the beginning where me and Jason are walking down the hall in school. And then I say frickin' frack over there. And then it kind of pans over to Majandra and Shiri, Liz and Maria, and then back to us. And then you guys, after a couple lines, then come in and join us. And I just thought, it doesn't, it's not that show where it's like wide, medium, over, go.
Yeah.
And I just...
yeah, there was some life there. I think that was the episode called Toy House.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wish it had been called Max Heals a Pigeon. I think that would have been better.
Max, he's carrying the weight of the world. He's a king on another planet.
Yeah. Oh, he's a king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of responsibility there. But this particularly broke my heart. I thought he did such a good job as a teenager who's like, Mom, like get off it.
Uh-huh.
It's like when a parent suspects that you're or something just so deeply life-shattering that they're pressing on. And he did such a great job because he usually didn't get to have like these outbursts. He kind of had to be very controlled. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, if you are going to, I did, one of my notes was like, if you're going to, knowing you're an alien and then you're going to approach your mother and kind of figure out a way around this, figure out how much she knows, how you can get her off your trail. He doesn't really come in with a plan. He kind of just broaches the subject without, having some sort of a strategy and then blows his top. And I'm like, dude, you need to think this through. This was not a wise move.
Yeah.
A classic teen.
Yeah. But it was fun to see him kind of blow his top because you didn't see that too often from him.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
And I was going to say, in terms of the breath of like fresh air, I think that's, it's Liz and Max are the Romeo and Juliet. So there's so much more pressure on that relationship. And you can't make it messy by making them assholes because they're up on this pedestal where it's like, you don't want to dirty those two people. They can have their differences and obstacles and relationship kind of miscommunications, whatever the case may be, but their disagreements and getting together and breaking up is always got to be a little bit cleaner than someone like with Michael and Maria, where they can both be kind of idiots or mindless or even mean. Right. And it works because we're not the number one relationship. The show isn't about we're kind of that the secondary. So I think there's a little less pressure, and then it allows the writers to play more. And I think it gives us, it makes us more well-rounded and kind of more.
Yeah, but Brendan, I mean, you were bringing a lot of good, like just raw animal energy into every scene. You're coming in hot. I even thought that line, I had to write it down because it felt like something that I could say to you, Majandra. Don't help me. I can't get indebted. I can't get entangled. I've got to be a stone wall. When I'm around you, I don't feel like a stone wall anymore.
Well, I mean,
you can take it, David. You can
what's
take it.
wrong with you? Also, just like you. Can you imagine being married to a guy that exactly is 15 years in?
You make me feel human.
You make me feel human. Yeah.
What is looking at Maria's response to Michael? How close is that to Mahandra's? And has it changed? Has it morphed? Not that we're going to get into a therapy session, but
no, but also just like how dare you?
I got to tell you, it's the weirdest thing. I just want to state how incredibly surreal it is to see your wife before everyone sees pictures of them in college. This is me seeing her in a way I've seen pictures of that insane hairdo, but I haven't seen it like live. And Brennan,
live
you can laugh
in action. Yeah.
Brennan, you can laugh, but you look like you were like electrocuted the whole time.
His hair.
Hey.
But it was great hair. I mean, it's great hair. You still got the flow. Both of you have terrific hair. But Majandra, I think you've told me like what happened, and you didn't start the show with that haircut.
No, I had hair like your length right now.
Yeah.
And then it was like the first kind of Karen haircut.
Uh-huh.
Where it was like had a longer piece in the front, and then I cut it Julius Caesar bangs super short because I was really into the movie Hackers, and I had the just fucking gall to think that I could cut my hair and look like Angelina Jolie. And instead I looked like George Clooney's like terrible stand-in.
But this is episode 11 of the first season.
Right,
so are
right.
you like
So-
on a
so-
weekend just like changing your hair?
So that was from the pilot to the pickup. That
Oh.
change I just told you about right now. And then what you saw is my attempt to grow it out to have just
Yeah, it
back
was
to
beginning.
normal.
Yeah, but like
Yes.
you're very like it looks like you hit puberty like right before they called action. in this
Correct.
show,
Thank
know?
you, David. Thank you. And you know what? You're absolutely right.
Or maybe during the scene it looked like you were developing.
I think barely. I think the pituitary gland had just
started, yeah.
because I don't think I'd had
Like
yeah,
I didn't
maybe by then.
recognize your body, honestly.
I
was
know.
like, what is this? Has she had
what is this? I don't know how to work with this. What is this?
what is going on here?
I know, isn't it wild?
It's wild.
I know.
And I know you started menstruating late, but this is insane.
That's the walking, living proof of the late menstruation.
Yeah,
And now I
gosh.
want everyone to know my whole family menstruated late. We don't have an eating disorder or are gymnasts. I wish we were, but we're not.
I'm just so happy my timing in this whole thing.
I think
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
there's a lot
I think
that
you
can
got
be
the better
said
end of
about
the deal there, David.
it also makes you go, was Brendan okay? You know? What is this? What is this guy's kink? You know what I mean?
No.
I mean,
Brendan, we've known each other
we know
for
my
what?
vision was
Like,
bad.
I met you, 17 years ago or something like that? Like a long, long time. We've been married, Majandra, for almost 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I met you like right away because you guys were like, we met on Larchmont maybe.
Yes, we met
yeah.
on Larchmont. I made David sit. You didn't have to sit, I mean, but kind of sit and just be privy to Brendan and I hashing out a conversation about.
Yeah, you guys were in conflict.
we were
and I
in
was just
conflict
there,
and we were
like,
working it out.
Yeah. Very wonderful. And then I think we played golf a few times early on.
Yes, you guys
Yeah.
did. And it's so funny because we talk a lot on this podcast, David, about how Brendan can struggle with people just like not understanding his vibe and thinking like, is he mad at me or is he like, does he hate me? What is the deal? And
Is
when
that true, Brennan?
Yeah. People are not generally this is why I don't like. I think
You rub people the wrong way?
yeah. And I
He
think
really
it
does.
happens in auditions. Like, I don't think I come across as charming or fun to talk to. I think there's something there that people are like, the guy's not my taste. Like, even Diane Farr, who I thought we got along and everything was good. She was just like, oh yeah, when Brendan was on set, there was serious time, no fucking around. And I was like, okay.
Oh, interesting.
When he
Yeah.
came on set, it was like,
No,
oh.
I consider you just a real straight shooter and someone who, is just going on like doing his thing in a good way. So I don't get
I
it.
know.
I
Agreed.
remember I think it was the first time we ever went golfing. I don't know where it was. It might have been, I think it was Brentwood?
Maybe Bel Air.
Bel Air. I think it was Bel Air. And you were ordering food. And it was the first, no, but we were on like the 9th or 10th tee or whatever else, making the turn.
Uh-huh.
And and we were just going to get hot dogs and a drink, I guess. And you called them, and I'd never heard it, but you called them sweat rockets.
Yeah, beef darts or sweat rockets. Yeah.
And
hot dogs.
I had never heard it. And I mean, I just thought it was the greatest thing. I've never forgotten it. I remember we were just about to tee off and it was sweat rockets. And I just thought it was genius.
Yeah, I like that term. Yeah, once I get a term, I've pretty much called it that ever since.
Now they're called
too.
glizzies.
Ew.
Oh, is that what the Utes are calling it?
It's what it sounds
Yeah.
like when you swallow them. Now, here's the thing. What I do remember from that golf game, or the first time, or maybe the second, whatever it was, David did come home and he goes, yeah, he's a great guy. I would try to like have a conversation and just be like, so what do you like? Be whatever, just like insert random normal question. And then Brendan would just like look off into the distance, be like, I think I'm going to use a 9-iron. Like just, and that
Yeah, no,
is you
I do
in
remember
a
that.
nutshell.
You were hyper focused on golf.
I took golf very seriously.
There wasn't a ton of idle chat. I'm the opposite. I like to, I like to get the competition going, but I do enjoy getting to know somebody on the course. It's also
See, this is the problem. And that's the thing. Everything Brendan does, he's very focused, and people misconstrue that as like a down sort of personality. Like,
well, there's a bull in a china shop essence to certain people, and certainly Michael on the show like has that kind of, he's coming in hot, and he's telling it like it is. And I liked your like, it's really sweet, and I relate to that kind of person too. It's such a pain in the ass to be like to be introspective all the time, and just like, and it's so much easier to just go with your gut and then clean up after, and that's sort of how I feel like you and I both are in a weird way. You just kind of go.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
meaning
not ring true.
Oh no, I'm definitely like that. But that's what's so funny is that Brendan is so never has been in my opinion. But then again, I'm like, are we all disordered? But
Well,
like, I don't think that he is like a comes in hot person. But is that what people complain about?
Well, remember you guys were over here visiting, and I don't know what I don't know if I had gone out or met you here or had to go pick something up. And when I walked in the door, Majandra was like, you went like, do you walk in like that? Like all the time? And I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, what? Are you okay? Like, are you mad? Even you said it.
Yeah,
You're like,
you swung the door like real hard. Well, I never said you don't like move about like a brute. I meant you don't come with words like, and like, like you're, I don't know, you're a real pacifist.
No, I would say it's the bull like a physical thing. It's just like, I'm
there
in.
you go.
Yeah, it's physical.
Yeah, poor Brendan. Every episode, someone is just like, and dude, I thought you hated me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he's just like, what? Funny. I also think features like play a part. I always have the opposite where I'm like, can you not tell that I fucking can't stand you? But I just look like,
yeah,
and that they're not like picking up on just this scowl.
Yeah. I guess so. But back then I was more like selfish. When I say into myself, like I was focused on that. I wanted to talk about the scene and everything else while we were shooting. Like I still don't bring my cell phone like on set ever.
Oh, good for you.
I don't take any, so I miss out on a bunch of...
You and Will Smith.
Yeah.
Okay, so I miss out on a bunch of photos and all that, and I'm always kind of bummed, but I would be on it, and I want to be paying attention to what's going on, what we're moving on to. I like being on set. I like the energy of set. I like the action of it. I like the terminology. I like to know what's happening. I just like it all, and I don't want a camera or a phone.
Yeah.
You just want to be on camera. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but I don't know. I find you to be very silly. So, like you can have a good time and be a silly goose. So it's
I think I've learned that now.
Can I switch gears for a second?
Please.
Of course, this is an opportunity for me to get something out of a journal that I've always seen lying around. Have you guys already revealed the journal entry?
If, like us, you loved Roswell and wanted to keep watching the push and pull of Michael and Maria, then check out our show, Baron and Toluca. A brand new story set in a familiar town in New Mexico where a familiar combustible love is still playing out and where paranormal forces still have plans, whether you believe in them or not. Check out the first 2 episodes at www.youtube.com/@exfilespod. That's EXFILESPOD. The X-Files with Majandra Delfino
and Brendan Fair is a production of Portholes Inc. Media.
Edited and mixed by Stephen Wells.
Theme music by Fred Corey.